So there was some panic this past week in regards to James Summerton. He posted what appeared to be a suicide note on his Twitter. Now, before I get into what I want to discuss in this video, he seems to be perfectly fine. Nick, his former co-writer who also used to live with him, confirmed that he is okay. And I'm glad he is okay, because even though his actions on this website were deplorable, that still doesn't mean I want to see him dead. But what really annoyed me was the speculation that took place during all of this. He probably has zero intention to take his own life, and this suicide note was just another desperate attempt to grab attention and sympathy. It was really frustrating to read because how the fuck do you know that this was another attempt to garner sympathy? I get it, James Summerton was a serial liar. I can understand to an extent where the doubt comes from, but the guy made a threat to take his own life. There are just some things that you have to take seriously, regardless of a person's past behavior. Even if a person is shitty, that does not mean they are immune to having suicidal ideation. And let's assess for a second what went on prior to him posting this suicide threat. His YouTube channel and his reputation imploded pretty much overnight. He had an extensive video made on him pointing out the dozens and dozens and dozens of examples of his egregious plagiarism. He had another extensive video made on him pointing out that when he's not plagiarizing, he's spreading misinformation and inventing his own facts. His audience found out that everything about his content was phony. His attempts to respond to this controversy were dragged through the mud. His main sources of revenue, his YouTube channel and his Patreon, are gone. No one is watching his YouTube videos anymore because why the fuck would they? No one in their right mind is donating to him anymore. So when the way of life that you have been used to just goes poof overnight, that's probably going to hit you hard mentally as well. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be one of those fucking idiots saying H-Bomber Guy is 100% responsible for the mental health issues James Summerton has been suffering with these past few months. And if James Summerton did indeed take his own life, H-Bomber Guy has blood on his hands. Absolutely not. That is fucking stupid. James Summerton made his own bed and now he is lying in it. Again, James Summerton's content was rife with plagiarism for fucking years, and anytime someone would call him out on this, including authors of the original works he would plagiarize off of, he would tell his audience that this person was harassing him, sending him death threats, making his mental health even worse, and as a result his audience would go harass these people. Was H-Bomber Guy supposed to just sit on his hands and not say shit about this because he couldn't somehow predict that in response to this controversy, James Summerton would threaten to take his own life? No, that was extremely shitty behavior that needed to be called out by a larger channel. But anyway, when you factor up all of these things that have happened to James Summerton leading up to this suicide note, do you really blame him for at the very least not being in a healthy frame of mind? The guy lost everything. Again, it's his own fault that he lost everything, but it's still a major negative shift in life regardless. That's why I don't think him genuinely wanting to take his own life is that out of the realm of possibility. You can acknowledge that a person has engaged in shitty actions and even be mad at them for said shitty actions, but also still care for their well-being, because at the end of the day, despite their behavior, they are still a person. I don't take back any harsh words I've said about James Summerton, because any harsh words I had to say towards him was in regards to his awful behavior on this website, not his mental health issues. I may have criticized him for weaponizing his mental health issues, but I never once actually made fun of his mental health issues like I've seen some people do these past few months. Because for me, that's a no-go. I never wanted to see any harm done upon the guy. At the end of the day, you never know for sure what is going on inside a person's head, especially if that person is someone you've never met in real life and your only interactions with them, quote-unquote, were YouTube videos they put out online. This harkens me back to when Etika took his own life. When he uploaded that final video saying goodbye to his audience, there was a lot of stupid discourse on Twitter, of course, where people were saying this is just another desperate plea for attention, because Etika in the past had already said and done outlandish things to get attention. For example, like a month or two before he took his own life, he was screaming shit outside of his apartment window, he had a SWAT team called on him, and this entire ordeal was live streamed on, I believe, Instagram. The guy very clearly had mental health issues and a pattern of outlandish behavior, and people are like, oh, this video where he says he's going to take his own life must be part of that pattern of outlandish behavior. And it really fucking frustrated me at the time, because even if this was a bogus threat, this is still someone's life on the line. The guy could have been dead, and he was, and people were just like, this is nothing to take seriously, he just wants attention. If he did indeed not follow through with the threat, and it was 100% confirmed that that video was just another bid for attention, like, say, maybe the next day he would come out with another video being like, haha, gotcha, made you all panic for no reason, then you could have given him all of the scrutiny you wanted, because that would actually be an above and beyond shitty thing to do. But in the moment, when it is not even confirmed whether or not the person is even alive, that is absolutely not the time for baseless speculation. Like with James Summerton, he could have actually been fucking dead, and you would have had these people saying, he just wants more sympathy, he's not actually suicidal. When someone writes a note like that, whether or not they actually intend on taking their own life, they are very obviously not in a right frame of mind. And that is reason enough to always take threats like this seriously. Fuck your baseless speculation. Can you read other people's minds? Do you know 100% for sure if someone is going to follow through with a threat to take their own life? No, you don't. And again, this is someone who you only know through the YouTube content they put out online. So who the fuck are you to say whether or not their mental health crisis is real? James Summerton is a plagiarist and a liar, and those two things are really bad, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's this irredeemable monster. Like, he didn't kill anyone, he's not a child groomer or anything heinous of the sort, so therefore, I don't think we should just simply not care when he's going through an obvious severe mental health episode. Even if this was a ploy to get attention and sympathy, so what? Again, you never know what a person's real intentions are, and this is a human life on the line, so treat the situation with the seriousness it deserves, for Christ's sakes, or just don't fucking say shit at all. And this applies to not just James Summerton, but to anyone online who threatens suicide, even if they aren't the best person. Unless, of course, they truly are a completely despicable human being who have done irredeemably awful things. Like, for example, when that 2Mad guy died. Yeah, I can't say I was shedding any tears for that guy. But anyway, asking the internet to be just a little bit more empathetic might be futile, but it is still worth the effort, I suppose. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.